Hey, what's up everyone? TNRI here, and today we have a special guest from Sweden. He saved countless lives through his previous venture, POC. That's the safety equipment for the extreme athletes. And now he's on his new journey towards achieving the zero emission society. So here it is. It's called Cake. It's a high performance, electric, off-road motorbikes. This video is in a semi-podcast format because my internet is not the best out there. Nevertheless, enjoy the video. So why entrepreneurship?
I think that, of course, there are many reasons, but one of the reasons that I've come to is the fact that, I had, during my school years, of course, I had, extra work, working in restaurants and stuff, and I didn't have problems with authorities, but I think that I'm a stubborn guy and I want to do things my way. Mm-hmm. So instead of doing it the long journey of being, building a career elsewhere, I decided that the fastest way forward to do what got me going and what I believed in was to do it myself. So there's a bit of escaping to it as well. I actually got into to furniture design early on, and if I kind of conclude what I'm doing, it's always been within the consumer space in terms of design and communication. The consumer products.
And design, especially the Swedish design, was a big part of your life.
Design is something which is subjective, and I think that's really important to emphasize. Aesthetics is something that you can establish common views between different people and different clusters based on culture and social and political dimensions. But there's something broader than that, and I think that the magic is to define the common bond between two specific individuals, groups, or whatever it might be, which creates a mutual kind of sympathy between those two. And then that's good design to me, as long as you're not, capitalizing or violently capitalizing or abusing someone else. But as long as it sounds sober, democratic, and sustainable, I would say, as long as there is a bond between someone and someone else, or between groups, and that it could be anything. It could be a country and their citizens. It could be a sports club and their members. It can be a company and their customers. And therefore, aesthetics and doing nice things is very secondary to what I believe in. I think there's so many more things that are based on the, let's call them cultural aspects, and why things attract different people and what different people, depending on their culture, aspire for. Mm-hmm. So in that sense, it's not about nice. I rarely use design myself or within the office. It's about being accurate in what you design to the specific user.
And what are your values?
I think that in my life, there's always been like 5 key factors which is driving what I do. It needs to have a purpose, it needs to have a certain level of quality, it needs to bring a level of innovation, and it needs to be something which has performance to it. And those 4 factors are then being embraced by deliberate engineering and design, and getting those together. So without those, I wouldn't be doing anything. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. But that's the common denominator throughout my career, whether it's cake or popcorn, when I was in furniture or in other domestic cars. Premium actually has a very relevant reason to support the change towards a more sustainable situation. I believe in reducing the pace of consumption is the most important thing to sustainability. So therefore I disguise luxury, which is expensive for no reason and very affluent without any consideration towards the obligations we all have as on our collective journey towards zero emissions, for instance. While premium actually does serve that in a good way. Well, the cake product is the strong reason for cake is that we want to inspire people towards zero emission by being able to do something that combines something which is both responsible and exciting.
And I guess same with cake.
It's very important. I think it's from a leader perspective. It's everyone in the company understands and supports and live their lives, not I'd say religiously, but supportive to the team challenge of doing what we can. And this is something that goes out in communication and in marketing and should be experienced with the product as well. And we know that we even design tires that actually leave a smaller footprint when out riding, because anyone who's been in the woods with a motorbike that has been flying through the on trails and so forth is something that really destroys. So it's not in all aspects, and also how we recycle aluminium and what type of aluminium we're using and so forth. So again, it's a wide perspective, and on the other hand, I don't want to sound militant, because I also realize that this is a process. We need to be patient, and we need to set the direction and work towards that direction with consistency, because it's not something that's going to change from one day to another. And again, we all need to contribute from different perspectives. So also how we realize that we're only one among thousands and thousands of initiatives that we all need to take as individuals or as groups or as countries or companies.
What's your biggest weakness?
I'd say I'm a very impatient person, so it's one of my greatest benefits, but it's also one of my greatest enemies. That my lack of patience makes me it gets me frustrated when things end up being slow or so forth. So which is it's painful, but I guess that I've come to learn that certain things needs time, and therefore I can intellectually understand the reason behind patience, even though I'm not a patient person.
How do you balance your personal and professional life?
Yes, I do to some extent. I always worked in areas where I really enjoy myself. Mm-hmm. So whether it's been in furniture design or in with POC, with skiing and cycling and so forth. Mm-hmm. And now with I do things in a space where I can kind of combine. So to be honest, there's no line between my personal life and my professional life. It all comes together. So it's a bit blurry in that sense. It's like now when it's been vacation times, mm-hmm. it's a bit frustrating because I don't really get to go on vacation because I don't rest. I just my wife and my kids just need to. I think that I'm playing the game relatively well, but inside I'm always at other places, even though I should be focusing 100% on off work and family without being disturbed by the constant kind of thinking going on at the same time. So it's a bit of a disease.
What do you think is important?
To be honest, I think that success is important because it doesn't come easy. I know you need to train hard and you need to play the games and the matches, and sometimes you lose. And then you need to stand up and start running again. But I think that when you do things and people around you appreciate what you achieve as an individual or as a team, but I think that is a very important kind of evidence going forward that people see what you do and that it's being appreciated. I think that to be honest, it's a very strong reason that to be able to influence other people's lives.
What drives you?
Yeah, I think that my as I'm getting older, I'm not 25 anymore. I think that my most important perspective today is someone said that you need to live your life as you're going to be 150 years old. Because if you started planning your initiatives based on the fact that maybe I'm not going to be around in 20 years from now, that would totally destroy the strategic perspectives on your initiatives. So I've started to live by the rule that I'm going to be 150 years old. Yeah, it makes all of the decision making and planning much more accurate, I think.
And you got any hobbies?
I think that the next thing, I think that sports has learned me a lot. I'm an active guy. I play ice hockey as I get to, I surf and as much as I can, and I ski and bike and so forth, and of course ride electric motorcycles these days. So being active and staying healthy is important. But I also think that the experience from my youth in sports in general, to set targets and goals and to train for them and to be a part of a team, to learn to win and lose together and so forth, they're very valuable experiences for anyone in any kind of situation where it's about performance and interaction.
Who inspires you the most?
Oh, my mother. She's not alive anymore, but I think she was a gymnastic teacher, and she introduced me to sports, and she was always she didn't want me to become a world champion, but she was very generous in her perspective on activity, I would say.
What's your favorite book?
Pippi Longstocking, I think. The red-haired young little lady. Yep. And I think that she is direct, even though she doesn't have the manners. She has a friendly attitude, and she does things her way.
What kind of advice you can give to young entrepreneurs out there?
From my perspective, it's really important, because I'm a bit worried about the fact that we're now academically producing young entrepreneurs to become business guys who starts businesses for the reason to make an exit and become rich. And that's I think that's absolutely against the ability to create meaningful, purposeful, and successful entities. Because if money is the driving force, you will not create the energy needed to move mountains and to really, exceed in performance. You need to be influenced and convinced in your business decision that you're bringing something useful and meaningful to the market that is really something which inspires you fully. So that's when I'm out lecturing at times when it comes to these topics, I always bring this up. So I'll say, follow your heart. And following your heart, you become very good at that specific topic that inspires you. And you're able to develop, become extremely knowledgeable and find a new paths just because you have this. It needs, and I think that success in this case is a combination between heart and brain, and in the best of cases, the kind of flow goes from your heart to your brain. So you fall in love, you analyze with that love, or let's call it a metaphor, but that kind of interaction between heart and brain in a dynamic, ongoing kind of process is what really, support. This is what I believe: the ability to become a successful entrepreneur. But then you get the money later on as a consequence of that. Yeah, but if you start by saying it's going to be the money thing, I think that there's a big chance that you'll fail.
Thank you for watching. That was a really great interview. More to come, but don't forget to check out the other ones on the channel, and like and subscribe, and as usual, TNRI out.